everyone, I'm here today with the game Majesty for the Realm, a game by Marc Andre and published here in the States by Z-Man Games. It was a Hans im Glück, and we're going to take a look at how to play the game, and then we'll talk about my feelings related to the gameplay and components and all that at the end.
Here's our setup for Majesty of the Realm. We have a nice 4-player setup here with the coins and the cards and everything set up. The first thing you want to do for each player is have your location cards that have the numbers 1 through 8 laid out left to right in front of you. So let's take a look at one of those. There's an A side and a B side. Here's the A side down in the bottom left corner here, and then you flip it over and you can find the B side. We're set up with the A side down in front of us. These landscape cards make a nice landscape of 1 through 8 as they're laid out in front of you. You can see that they actually go together. I like that about it. The next thing that you're going to do after you have these all laid out in front of you is to look for the worker cards. Everybody gets their own worker card. There are 4 of them. You're going to place your workers on them. The first player is going to take the one with the knight on it. That's this one here. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. I'll take these workers off, and you can see here this has the knight on it, the little red flag. That is the first player marker. So everybody places their meeples on their player cards as shown, and then we have a supply of meeples which are left over. You set that where everybody can reach them out here. Then you go ahead and take the 1, 2, 10, 50, and 100 point chips and place them all within easy reach of all the players so that everybody can get them. And then you take your tier 1 and tier 2 cards, shuffle them up. You're going to put your tier 2 cards underneath the deck out here, and then you're going to have your tier 1 cards on top. You're going to remove a certain number of tier 1 cards based on the number of cards. Here you can see the tier 2 cards, they have a red back. In a 2-player game, you're going to set aside 6 tier 1 cards, they go on top of the tier 2 cards. In a 3-player game, you set aside 14 tier 1 cards, they go on top of the tier 1 cards. And then in a 4-player game, you set aside 26 tier 1 cards that go on top of the tier 2 cards. I didn't do quite as many. Here's a tier 1 card, just so we can quickly see these as we set up the game. And then you set out 6 cards, which are going to be refilled after a person takes one on their turn. This is the heart of the game. On your turn, you're going to take exactly 1 character from the display and place it at its matching location in your realm. This will let you get points or meeples, attack other player, or maybe even cause other players to gain points. Then play proceeds to your left. This will go this way until there's exactly 12 character cards in each realm. At the start of your turn, you're going to choose 1 character card to take from the display. The character card farthest from the deck is the front space of the display, and the character card nearest to the deck is in the back space. The character card in the front space is always free to take. To take a card in any other space, place one of your meeples on each card starting with the front space leading up to your chosen card. I'm going to pretend that I want to select this noble, which is 3rd in the line, so I get meeples set up on the first couple cards, and then I select the noble. See, I've spent my meeples off of my card. I take the noble, and it goes down in the correct space on my locations. So I have my noble card with the castle symbol and color up here. This is a split card, as you can see here. So there's the noble, there's the brewer on the other side, but I'm going to choose the noble because whenever you place a character at a location, you get to resolve all the location abilities along with the character cards there, and there's no limit to how many characters can be here. So I'm going to put the noble there and get that at the castle. So let's go ahead and take a look at the noble placed at the castle here. Every time I place a character, then I'm going to get to resolve the abilities from top to bottom. 4 cards have a special signpost like the attack over there or the game end only. But in this case, we just look at the per key, get 5 money and 1 meeple. So because I have 1 noble, I only get to get 1 multiple of that, which is just 5 and the 1. If I had multiple nobles, then I would get that many more times that 5 plus 1. And that's how I resolve an ability. After I resolve those abilities, then I'm going to go back up and make sure that I refill the row. I leave those 2 there alone, but then the rest I'm going to slide over and then take the top card so that there's now 6 cards for the next player. It's also important to note that the meeples that are out on the first and second cards in the front of the row are going to stay there so that if somebody were to take one of those cards, they get incentivized to take those cards. Let's go ahead and take a look at those 4 signpost cards that we mentioned a second ago. They are heal top card, defend, attack, and then there's also one for the end of the game, which is lose 1 point per card there at the end of the game. You can get rid of those cards from the infirmary by using the cottage's ability, which is to heal the top card from the infirmary and you take it away from there and place it back on its matching location. The defend action allows you to defend when you are attacked, and the attack allows you to take somebody else's cards and place them into the infirmary. You'll see that they each have different abilities below that are also going to happen when you use those cards. If I were to use this attack ability, I get to individually attack each opponent. If an opponent has the same number of cards or more than I have knights, then my attack's going to fail and nothing happens. But if an opponent has fewer cards than you have knights, your attack will succeed. Let's go ahead and look at endgame after each player has gained 12 characters. In addition to the points you're getting throughout the game, look at this symbol for majority in the bottom right hand corner. Each player will count the number of characters that they have at those locations. Whoever has the most is going to get the points. And in the case of a tie, the players gain points equal to the location's value. Let's say we have a split card here at a location. That's important for counting variety. For variety, you simply count the number of locations that have at least one character and you gain points equal to that number and multiply itself. In this case, you get 6 times 6, which is 36. Or you could have gotten 7 times 7, which is 49. Finally, just compare all those points from majority and variety, and remembering to take off points for any characters in your infirmary, count up any points you've gained throughout the game, and then whoever has the most points is your winner.
Now that we've looked at how to play the game, let's talk about the components and all that. I think the chips are fine. I still miss the chips that were in like first edition Splendor and how awesome and weighted those ones were. I wish there were something like that. I don't love the stickers on the chips in this game, but they're fine. The cards are fine. I think the artwork in the box is better than the artwork on the outside of the box. I really like that landscape that you get when all the cards are laid out. I think the artwork on the outside of this box is terrible. And on that note, let's go ahead and take a look at the game that this is often thought of, because Marc Andre designed this too. He designed Splendor, as well as like Barony and Bonbons and things like that. So I've played a few of his games. I like this better than I like Splendor. I don't usually like getting Splendor to the table. I'll admit that about the only time I play Splendor anymore is when I'm trying to put myself to sleep, when I'm trying to bore myself. I'll play the app at night sometimes. I think that Majesty for the Realm is a better game, but I think that the front of the box, the artwork isn't great, and it's going to turn some people off. I think the little explanations on the back are also not great, and they're going to turn people off who are looking at the game. So maybe give it a second thought. Watch some more gameplay videos. There's some good other good ones out there. I think that how the players interact is a little bit better. I kind of call these games marketplace games because you're all trying to get things out in the middle, and then once you've achieved a certain thing, in this case those 12 cards, then the game's over, rather than some other external thing like victory points or something like that. You're getting certain cards that are available to everyone, and that's how you're going to achieve the end of the game. In any case, I think that this, like I said, is a better game than Splendor. I think that it has a little bit more fun to it. I think that if you like Splendor, you'll probably like this. I think that it is a decent game for what it is. It's just not my thing, and I know I say that sometimes, but I don't own Splendor. I don't own tons of marketplace games like this. It does play 2, which meets one of my criteria. I'm not sure how well it would play 2. I think the best player count for this game probably is 3 or 4. But Majesty for the Realm by Marc Andre.